Right, hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my Genshin Impact 3.6 game plan. Now, I'm going to cover a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to be covering the wishes in this video because that's going to mostly get covered in my test run videos, one of which will be coming out shortly after this video. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I did log in briefly to try to verify some of the information that I was a little unsure about because they gave us some information on some of the events and things to expect, and but we're a little light on some of the other details. So one of the things I wanted to check to see if the new area was there. It is. It is connected to the section of the desert that we had just gotten previously. So look around the northwest corner of that, and you'll see it right away. So this looks like it's ready to go. Now I do not know if you need to do Nahida's story quest in order to unlock it. I will be going in there for the first time once I'm doing her story quest because that's just the best way to visit these things for the first time. So at least that's my uh, uh, opinion. Now the Recollector's Path. I don't know anything about this. This will definitely take place in a new desert area. If you want to make sure that you're uh, being able to take part in this event, then just make sure that you've completed Nahida's story quest to chapter 2, and you should be good to go. But it's not going to require anything more than that. As for Dr. Baiju's story quest, this was advertised for 3.6, but it is not currently online right now. I wouldn't push any panic buttons. This might be something that they're bringing a little bit later in 3.6. Um, Now, I don't know anything about any requirements for this, but I would assume that if there are any requirements, certainly you'd want to finish Liwei's Archon Quest chapter, which is chapter 1. Um, Getting your adventure rank to level 40 is also probably a good idea since that is typically the adventure rank requirement to do a lot of the stories. But like I said, getting all the way through Leeway, that's probably what you need. Okay, so let's talk about 3.6. What do you need to do all the events and what is recommended? Well, the requirements for that you need in total, you need to be up to rank 30 of your adventure rank. You also need to complete Archon Chapter 1, Act 3, which is mostly the ending of Leeway. There are some additions to the Archon quest for Chapter 1 after Act 3, including the interlude. You do not need those to meet the minimum requirements for Genshin Impact version 3.6. But there are some recommended requirements, and these are the ones that you can skip past if you can do the quick start. Um, the first one is Archon Quest Chapter 3 Interlude, which you get after you've completed Act 5. So quest. Overall, do I think the I overall I would say if you have not completed Archon Quest Chapter 3 Act 5, be very careful of using the quick start because you could get major spoilers for Chapter 3 if you are worried about such things. Alhatham's story quest probably might have some spoilers, but they'd be lesser spoilers. Um, but yeah, I would be if you can get it done. You've got time, and Chapter Three's interlude is could be some is more likely to have spoilers in Alhaitham's story quest. But chapter 3 act 5, I would almost make that a requirement. I wouldn't recommend doing the Samara quests without it. Okay, so let's move on. We have a new Hangout series, and this is online, so I can see that you can do it. You do have to finish Archon Quest Chapter 3, Act 5, which is the main arc for Sumeru, in order to do this. That makes sense. It does require 2 keys. I don't know, there's a lot of people who don't like Hangout events. I have a hard time motivating myself to get them done as well, even though I do like the stories. But I will be recording this for YouTube. So look for that. Um, now we've got the bigger one. Nahida's Story Quest Chapter 2 is out there and ready to go. There's really only one requirement for this, and that is that you complete Act 1 first. It would make sense. I would hope. But yes, you have to complete Act 1. After you've done that, you can do Act 2. And there's really no other requirement. So, Brewing Developments is going to be our first of the events that we're going to see. It's going to start on April 13th, which for most of us is tomorrow. Watching this video as it went up. It's kind of like the Battle Randomizer event that we saw in the special program announcement. There isn't really that much as far as requirements for this event. Pretty much just adventure rank 20. But do keep in mind that this is in Sumeru, so you do have to get there. But adventure rank 20 is not particularly high, so it's almost not worth saying that there is. Fulminating Sandstorm is going to be starting on April 21st. This is the Waynude Hunter canon event, which I think is kind of interesting. I know a lot of people are more looking forward to the events that I just talked about, but this one sounds kind of interesting. Now, this one, it does take place in Sumeru, so you do need to. The adventure rank's a little bit higher requirement at 28, and you need to be finished with leeway. There's no specific requirement for Sumeru, but I would recommend that you get to Act 3, Chapter 3, Act 5, for plenty of reasons that come into play for the flagship event. Now, most important, I've already heard people buzzing about this, ready to go for this. Look at the date. This starts on April 27th. I am recording this on April 12th, so do not get out of bed. Go straight to your computer, log in, and freak out because it hasn't started yet. It's not leading off the version, which I don't have any particular complaints about, but this is going to give you a chance to make sure that you're completely ready. You've seen these requirements and recommendations before because these are the same as the overall requirements. Get yourself to adventure rank 30. I would say if you think you want to do this event, make sure that you've gotten all of the recommendations done, especially Chapter 3, Act 5. That's the big one. Interlude, I think I understand why that's a requirement. There would be kind of minor spoilers if you don't do that. Nothing that the game doesn't already spoil plenty on its own. As for Alhaitham's story quest, I'm debating how much of a spoiler. If there is any spoilers, it's something that we see at the very end of the story quest. But yeah, if you're worried about spoilers, keep in mind you've got plenty of time to get this stuff done. And if you're still in Inazuma, you've got a long ways to go because there's a lot of story between end of Inazuma and the beginning of Sumeru. So take your time. Don't rush the story just for the sake of events because you're going to have plenty of events to do. But you spoil the story for yourself and there's no going back. Hopefully you got that. So let's go ahead on to my Kanban chart. Let's pull that up real quick. So if you've never seen a Kanban chart before, I use this to make sure that I know what I'm doing and making sure that I don't overcommit myself. Was at a point where I had 5 or 6 different characters all being built at the same time, weapons here and there, and everything else. Once I built my Kanban chart, I was able to understand a little bit more of what I can do in any given 6 week period. And I was able to kind of understand how to organize things a little bit so I don't end up having a lot of things halfway done, um, because that doesn't result in being able to do better in the spiral abyss or to have new teams that I can just get up and use. So let's start with character leveling. Um, so I have Sayu. I just started right now. I finished Nahida and Kaya in 3.5. I'm I would be happy if I just got Sayu done because I really need to spend my resin elsewhere. I could get another character completed. The only reason I want to get Sayu done is because there are some parts in the desert where there are mountains. I keep having to swap somebody in to blow away with Animo. If I have Sayu in, then at least I can swap her in for Shinyan. So that way I still have a Claymore in the party that to harvest crystals. The only problem is Sayu's level 20 right now, so she's kind of a one-hit KO. So, um, but I think that this is probably I'd probably be able to level her up to 90, probably within 2 weeks, maybe 2.5. It nothing that I would pretty much just be doing the 10 bosses a week in the battle pass, and this wouldn't even last the entire battle pass to get that done. If I was to go for a second character, might end up being Aloy, or it might end up being Genshin. I'm not sure, but I don't think. But it's not an issue. Not an important. It's not important for me to get 2 characters done this time. Normally, I can get 2 characters done, but I really, really, really need to buckle down on some of the other environments or some of the other things to build. As for weapons, you can see I've kind of gotten my weapons down to a kind of a reasonable amount. I got 4 done in the previous version, which is what I expected. Um, the one I have in progress right now is the Serpent Spine, and that's for D-Luke. I really need to fix D-Luke. He's C3 right now. He needs better artifacts. He needs a better weapon. There's really no excuse for D-Luke being as bad as he is right now on my account. So we'll get the Serpent Spine done right away. Black Sword is kind of the next priority. Maybe finishing Dragon's Bane. End of the line is kind of a specialty bow from Sumeru. It's not entirely necessary right now. I'm just keeping an eye on it. But I am kind of cognizant that I'm going to be adding new characters to my account. Yeah, depending on which characters they are and how many, might determine what other weapons get added to this. Uh, 3 weapons would be what I would like to see completed in this one. 4 would be kind of pushing it. Um, 2 would kind of be would make me feel like I might end up falling behind again. But so three is kind of what I'm kind of hoping for 3.6. And now comes the artifact sets. The Emblem of Severed Fate has been the bane of my existence for the last two versions because I've put so much resin in it, and really Raiden Shogun is the only one that has made it out. Emblem of Severed Fate, as you can see, I got four Blizzard Strayer and the like done in version 3.5. Pretty much all of that was coming from the strong box, and basically, I would think that Sayu probably would get done, but I really need to get Emblem of Severed Fate done because I want to pull Nahida's Deepwood Memories in, and I can only do that if Emblem of Severed Fate is completed. So, of course, I also need to do Diluc's Crimson Witch of Flames rework. That will come after Sayu's artifact set is completed. So, this is either going to be really good or really bad for me. But I'm going to be putting a lot of resin into the artifact sets to get these done. Emblem of Severed Fate, there's an actual probability and mathematical reason why this takes longer than most other artifact sets in the game. Trust me, there's a reason. Let me know if you want me to tell you what the reason is. Anyway, let's move on to talent levels. As of course, and previously, you can see I got a lot of talent levels completed in version 3.5. For the most part, I know there's a lot of green on the right hand side of the screen. Basically, I got Nahida and Shangling all to 6 across. I got Ningguang and Kuki Shinobu to 7, and I got Rosara and Fischl to 9 across. No crowns, and I don't really have any intention of using crowns right now, but we'll see how it goes. Now, what I would like to do is to get Singsho and Kaya all to 6. Now, keep in mind that I have the Serpent Spine in progress right now, and that is a Wednesday Saturday schedule. So I cannot promote a Singsho or Kaya all to 6 to working because that's the same schedule. Um, Now, so I'll probably do Kuki first. I will leave it open for now because I want to get a little bit more time to think about it. Like I said, it's really all about making sure that the artifacts are getting done. That's priority one right now. But getting Kuki and Ningguang eventually to 9, I think, is going to help me a lot. You can also see I put Lumine Geo to 7, kind of at the back end. One of the things I was thinking about is I don't want to lose track of. I do have Animo and Dendro completely crowned for Lumine, but I don't want Geo and Electro necessarily lagging too far behind. I don't think I'm going to quadruple, triple crown Lumine at this point, but getting Geo to 9 would be good. And Geo and Electro, but incrementally, if I can get these three done, that'd be great. But for the most part, it's more important getting Ningguang and Kuki to 9 first, um, and maybe just bring these along. The ones that are blocked are the ones that haven't made it to level 70 as far as character level yet, and that's what's required to get um, any talents to level 6. So that's kind of my plan for this. Overall, I think this is going to be a very interesting patch. I've heard people debating whether this is a big patch or not. Certainly, anytime we get new areas added to the map, makes it feel bigger, more so than smaller. As far as I'm concerned. Um, but it isn't. It's not like we're adding an entire new region yet. That's probably definitely not going to happen until 4.0. That's probably a few months away. Now, I did buy into the battle pass as I usually do. This time I got the $10 one, which is the right one to get. If I what I'm probably going to end up with is just another serpent spine to kind of build this one up. Serpent spine is it really does require the refinements so that you're not taking as much damage. But this I really like this weapon. I have it on Xinyan. I think it will work fine on Diluc. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. I bet you've got plenty of things to look forward to for Genshin Impact 3.6. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to this channel. Please consider liking this video and following me on Twitch if you enjoyed this video as well. If you've got things that you'd like to opine on as far as 3.6, leave a comment below because I read all the comments that I get, and I will see you in the next video.